The data is in on 7-figure Amazon FBA businesses. You are about to find out all the data you need to know. If you are a high 7-figure or even an 8-figure Amazon FBA entrepreneur, then you need to watch this video, because literally this video alone could change your life with a ton of money if you are planning on selling. And don't worry, if you're a buyer looking to buy 7-figure FBA businesses, this is a pretty good video for you too, because we're going to dive deep into our State of the Industry Report data, specifically for 7-figure and up Amazon FBA businesses. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, my name is Gregory Elfrink. I am the Director of Marketing over at Empire Flippers. And if you are a subscriber of this channel, which you can go ahead and subscribe down below, you're probably wondering right now, like, wow, this is a different angle. And yes, it is, because standing is the old way of doing YouTube. Unlike this guy, I'm the new way. Also, I happen to get a lens that can actually zoom in now, so I don't have to be standing at a certain angle all the time in my apartment. But that's besides the point. Anyways, in today's video, I want to talk about how the 7-figure market for the Amazon FBA world has heated up drastically. Now, if you haven't watched my other videos, definitely go check those out. The industry report video where I talk about the entire market, the entire broad space of M&A in the online business world, and the one I did on Amazon FBA specifically, because that covers the entire market right there of FBA. Now, this video is a little bit different because in this video, I am focusing purely just on 7-figure FBA businesses. So if you are one of these 7-figure entrepreneurs or even an 8-figure entrepreneur, this data is super relevant because it's exactly for your pricing tier. So let's go over some of the data I have here on my computer screen. So in 2020, we sold 12 7-figure and up Amazon FBA businesses. Now, the actual sales multiple for these businesses, it ranges quite a bit based off whether the business is growing, stable, or declining. Just like in all the other videos, I talk about the differences between these three things. So if you are running a 7-figure FBA business right now and the business is declining, well, I have bad news for you, kind of. Your sales multiple is going to be lower than what you could have gotten. So out of those 12 transactions in 2020, the average trailing 12-month multiple was 28.3x, which is still pretty high. To be honest, that is higher than most FBA businesses that sold on our marketplace in 2019, regardless of where they were, whether they were scaling, declining, or stable. So this is still a pretty good multiple, but you'll see why I say it's a bad multiple in a second here. Because if your business was just stable, not rocking any boats, and you're running a clean 7-figure or 8-figure Amazon FBA business and profit is coming in like clockwork, you're looking at a potential multiple, sales multiple, if you go to sell, of 48.7x. That is huge. Now keep in mind, these are monthly multiples, not annual EBITDA. At Empire Flippers, we always do monthly when it comes to our valuations, but this is gigantic. That is a huge increase. And what is extra interesting is if you are in the growing space, so if you are running an FBA business as a large enterprise that happens to be scaling quite dramatically to qualify as a business that is growing, you'd actually get a lower multiple. You would get a 43.8x on average. Still absolutely gigantic, but it is interesting to see that so many buyers value stability over growth in this pricing tier of the market. So that is very, very interesting. So some other data that we got out of our State of the Industry report when it comes to 7-figure FBA businesses is earnouts. So earnouts, if you're unfamiliar, basically just means someone didn't pay all cash for your business. Instead, what they did was they did some kind of deal structure. And what that means is you might have gotten paid a large amount of money up front, but you didn't get the entire list price. Usually there's some kind of structure involved where I will pay you this much per month or this much every quarter based off of these kind of performance goals. So out of the 12 transactions we did, 11 of them had some kind of earnout deal structure involved with them. So pretty much all of them, except for one. So that is something to keep in mind. If you are a seller, the vast majority of businesses that are sold in this pricing tier are going to have earnouts. So that is the basic raw data here. And on average, it took us about 91 days to sell a 7-figure business. So our exclusivity at Empire Flippers is actually 2 months. We have the shortest exclusivity in the entire industry, but on average, it still takes about 3 months to sell these businesses. So typically what happens once you go live on our marketplace to sell one of these bigger businesses, you're going to get a flurry of offers. You're going to have to dance around and decide what kind of offer makes the most sense for you while all these buyers are competing for you. And typically around 1.5 months in, you're probably going to accept some sort of offer that will have some sort of period of exclusive due diligence. Not always, but usually there is some short period of exclusive due diligence. And after that is done, usually that is when the deal is sold. Still, 3 months, 91 days to become a millionaire, not too bad. And as at the time of this filming, we're very proud to have helped 39 different entrepreneurs make 7-figure and 8-figure exits now on our marketplace. So that is awesome. 91 days to become a millionaire, not a bad use of your time. So what I want to do with this data is get into some of the things for buyers, what you should know as a buyer in this pricing tier for FBA businesses, and what sellers should know in this pricing tier. So let's dive into it, starting with the buyers. So if you are a buyer in the 7-figure FBA space or 8-figure FBA space, you are either a high net worth individual, you're a brand aggregator, maybe you're funded by private equity or family offices at this point. Usually your wealth is probably coming from somewhere outside of your own pocket. You usually have some investors with you. And that's great because it does help mitigate your personal capital exposure. Problem is, most people you are competing with are also like you. So that means it can be very difficult for you to actually make an offer that is compelling to the seller. There are a lot of competitors competing for that brand just like you. So in your case, you need to make a very compelling offer that really gets the seller excited. But on the flip side of this, you also have something going in your favor that in pretty much every other pricing tier of Amazon FBA doesn't really exist as much. And that is the ability to do complex deal structuring with the maximum amounts of earnout. So in the data of the 12 7-figure businesses and 8-figure businesses that we sold, on average, you're looking at the ability to finance where you don't pay up to 34% of the list price, because on average, the earnouts were right around 66%. So that means most buyers buying these 7-figure businesses are paying 66% in cold hard cash upfront to the seller, and then the rest is over some kind of earnout. That is the longest period, or the most earnout percentage to list price or sales price rather, that we see in any pricing tier. The only pricing tier where it is more is the sub $100,000 level for FBA businesses, but that is an outlier because the vast majority of people buy sub 100K FBA businesses, they buy them with cold hard cash. So unlike in the sub 100K businesses you can acquire, you can actually do an earnout deal structure without losing the deal, which doesn't happen in the sub 100K space. So that is fascinating that you can basically finance close to 4/10 of the actual sales price for these 7-figure businesses. And as you know, there is not a lot of financing available in the online business space. There just isn't. It's either you're a high net worth individual, you're independently wealthy, or you've gotten funding from some sort of investors or investment vehicle, right? When you're buying at this level, that's the only options you really have typically. So you get to make these kind of deal structures. And to be honest, if you're watching this video, you probably already know the best kind of deal structures for specifically what you're trying to do. So there's not a lot of new things I can tell you. But if you are a brand new 7-figure buyer looking to get started in acquiring these businesses, well, there are things you can do to learn more about deal structuring. I will link an article below this video that I wrote all about deal structuring and deep diving into the different kinds you can do, what kind of pros and cons each have, which they come with all of them. So definitely check that out. Just realize if you are a buyer in the space, you are competing in a very competitive landscape. There are tons of people out there. So you need to have your deals on lock if you're going to get that seller to commit to sell with you. Now, of course, if you're going private, you're probably going to be in a better situation because there's probably not as many people competing for that business, or at least the seller doesn't know about other buyers, right? So you do have an advantage if you build some private deal flow. And to be honest, that's a big reason why a lot of brand aggregators build private deal flow, is try to find businesses where the entrepreneur doesn't necessarily know the value of what they're selling, so they can hopefully get a good deal. Now, if you're using a broker, obviously that's not going to work because the broker is going to price it for what it's actually valued at. And right now, valuations have gone way, way up. Just for that TTM multiple stuff I was talking about, that is a huge double-digit percentage increase by a large magnitude of what these businesses used to sell. So just remember, if you are a buyer looking at 7-figure and 8-figure FBA businesses, you got to come with a very compelling offer. But a compelling offer doesn't mean you can't take advantage of good deal structuring to help minimize your capital exposure. In fact, the data says you can take deal structuring to the max to minimize as much as possible in terms of your own personal capital, and sellers at this level are willing to accept that. So speaking of sellers, let's take this to the other side of the arena. And let's talk about sellers. If you are an Amazon FBA entrepreneur that has a business, say, making about $50,000 average net profit per month over the last 12 months, congratulations. You are most likely for sure in the 7-figure valuation range, which is a huge achievement in of itself. Really pat yourself on the back. That is not easy to do. So congratulations there. So let's talk about what you can expect if you want to make an exit at this pricing tier. So the first thing is to go into the process of selling your business with the expectations to be flexible. Flexibility is key at this stage. And you would think entrepreneurs at this level understand the importance of flexibility in business, but often they don't. And I have seen this kill amazing deals. I've seen people who could have been a freshly minted multimillionaire not take the deal because they're arguing over $50,000. Don't be that seller. Don't miss out on an opportunity to change your life so dramatically. Because let's be honest here, selling a 7-figure, multi-7-figure FBA business or even 8-figure FBA business, that is life-changing money, almost no matter what walk of life you're in. You can do so many things and you really open up what I call the doors of possibilities when you sell. You're going to be able to do so many different things on that. If you don't know what I mean by doors of possibilities, if you haven't seen that presentation of mine, I'll probably be shooting a video about the doors of possibilities when you sell a business later on. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. But let's just face it, 7 figures in your bank account or 8 figures in your bank account from selling your business where you have complete control over that capital is absolutely life-changing. It's a crazy amount of life-changing. And waiting around for 91 to 93 days on average to sell your business is not a long wait time. But the key is you got to be flexible. Don't be rigid on the ultimate sales price and the ultimate terms of the deal, because most buyers in this field, because it is so hotly competed, you're dealing with some of the highest quality business buyers you could ever deal with. And the chances of them not paying the earnout are very low. Can it happen? Absolutely. It's a volatile market. It can definitely happen. Do we see it often? Not at all. So you are dealing with some of the highest quality buyers. And if you are flexible, they will be flexible with you as long as it's both within reason, right? So let's talk about that. This is a competitive landscape, like I mentioned, for buyers. It is difficult for buyers to really get the deal easily, right? So you, as a seller, you are in literally the strongest possible position to come and sell your business for the highest price possible. Now, this is only true if you use a broker. And now it sounds super self-serving on my part, and yes, it is. But there is also a legitimate objective reason why this is true, is because if you are selling privately, Fund A or brand aggregator A that reaches out to you privately, like, hey, I want to buy your business, and you say yes, it's not like they're going to Fund B, like, hey, guess what, Fund B just made an offer on this FBA business. Do you want to make an offer on it before I buy it, just to see if the seller would rather go with you? No, they're not going to do that. That goes and defeats the entire purpose of private deal flow. The reason why they do private deal flow and give you great deals up front and try to make it as fast as possible is because they don't want their competitors, the other brand aggregators, to find out about you. They don't want you to not be in an LOI with them or letter of intent. They want to get you in that so that way they can claim your business as fast as possible. And if you go with a broker, that's not going to happen. Instead, what's going to happen when you go with a broker is you get to tap into this literal billion-dollar industry of Amazon FBA brand aggregators. You get to tap into the entire market because every single one of them shops with a broker. And a lot of them have to. because a lot of them are brand new and they haven't yet built up private deal flow. And so they're forced to use brokers. But even the ones with private deal flow, they are looking for value, real quality businesses. They're not looking just for deals they can get in for a small amount of money. While that is great, they would prefer that. They would still pay a premium price for a premium business. As long as your business is quality, they have no problem paying those large multiples I just mentioned to you. They're buying more now than they ever have in the past. So when you use a broker, you open up the possibility of having fund A, fund B, and all the funds all the way to Z competing with offers for you. And this competition allows you to have a variety of great deals that you can choose from, both in terms of actual upfront money in your pocket and terms. Some of these aggregators offer amazing terms that can give you money pretty much for the rest of your life, like almost on autopilot in a sense, depending on the deal structure, because some of them will actually allow you to keep some equity. So there are so many reasons why you should use a broker at this pricing tier. Even if you absolutely hate the idea of paying a commission to a broker, which I get, you will make way more money if you go with a broker, even when you pay us a commission, than you would with going with a private deal. In fact, if you went with a private deal for a 7-figure business, you would earn less money for one. And if you went with us, you'd pay us a bigger commission than that private deal valuation. Say that private deal valuation that they gave you, it was with a broker and we charged you commission, you'd actually pay more commission by selling with us in that case, because we would sell your business for such a higher price. So you would pay a bigger commission to us, but you'd also have more money in your wallet at the end of the day, which is what it's all about for the most part, right? Like, you're not selling you don't want to pay the commission because you think you'll get less money, but in reality, you're actually going to get a lot more money and you're going to get a lot more variety of great deals that can really change your life and open up a brand new chapter if you use a broker, because a broker gets to tap into not just the brand aggregators, but our entire buyer network, which at Empire Flippers, we have over $3 billion right now in our buyer network in verified liquidity, ready to deploy. They want your business and they're looking at us. So when you go with a broker, you get to tap into that infrastructure that is so powerful. And because brokers like us work in the trenches literally every single day on this versus an entrepreneur who's selling maybe their first business or maybe their fourth business, even at 4, that is considered a highlight event, right? They're not doing it every day. They don't know the challenges and the nuances and all the things that can come up with various legal agreements, various deal structures. This is a highlight event for that entrepreneur or for you versus an M&A broker. It's just part of the normal work week, right? We deal with this all the time. So when you use a broker, you get all of those advantages that really allow you to tap into the most maximum amount that you can get with an exit with your FBA business, especially at this pricing tier where it is so hotly competed. It behooves you to have an expert that knows what they're doing with this. And not to toot our own horn, but we were the first ones to sell FBA businesses back in 2016, back when no one thought it was even possible. So we've been around this game for a very long time and can definitely help you out in this area. So let's talk a little bit about the kind of buyers you're going to get when you sell a 7-figure business. So buyers at this level are very savvy. They're not they're not going to lowball you. And again, if it is a private deal, they will probably give you a lower valuation than what a broker is going to give you. But they're not going to lowball you with an insulting amount of money for all your hard work you've built into the business. They want you to succeed almost as much as they want themselves to succeed. They tend to be some of the most sophisticated buyers, and they understand your needs has to be met in order for the deal to come through. They're not just thinking about themselves. So when it comes to interacting with these buyers, usually they are some of the best kind of buyers, the highest quality kind of buyers that you can deal with. And it just goes to show there's a common thing, at least in the marketing agency world, where the bigger ticket client, so a client is paying, say, $10,000 a month, the easier that client is to work versus, say, the client making $500 a month. This is why there's a lot of really bad services at $500 a month, because most agency owners tend to graduate out of that to the higher ticket just because they're easier to deal with. But one key difference here versus other pricing tiers, especially on the low end, is again, that ability to be flexible. You will most likely sell your business with a bunch of different terms and conditions on that earnout where they pay out that remaining 34% to you. And you've got to be okay with that. That is an important part of the process, really. And even if you go with a private deal with a brand aggregator, they will most likely still pay you out an earnout. They probably won't give you all cash. And usually that earnout is going to be performance-based. So you want to make sure you not only do you go with a buyer that you feel you have the best relationship with, that has the best offer for you, but one that you actually believe can make the business work. You want to have that brand aggregator, that buyer, have as much success as you've had with the business, because so often the earnout will be tied to some kind of performance milestones. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to earnouts, I highly recommend you, just like I recommended to the buyer, to go and check out the link below in the description. It will lead to my deal structuring guide that you can read and check it out. And that'll give you a basic overview of what you can basically expect here. So that is some of the key things for you to expect at this level. And again, I just want to highlight a 7-figure or 8-figure Amazon FBA business. That is life-changing when it comes to making that kind of exit. There are people who are financially free and retire living great upper middle class incomes with their index funds, say, sitting around 2.4 million, 2.5 million. And that took them a lifetime to build up. Versus your Amazon FBA brand might have took you 5, maybe 10 years to build up, but still a lot faster than 30 years. And you'll be able to get to that exit event where you can do all kinds of things. You could retire yourself, you can invest into other businesses, other offline investments, say like real estate, stocks, whatever. You can really take control of your life here. This is a huge life event for you. More so than any other pricing tier, you can speed up all of your other business and personal goals if you make sure you sell it right and sell it to the right kind of buyer. And of course, that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do to help you as an M&A advisor. And I've been with Empire Flippers now for 5 years, and I have never seen anywhere close valuations like this before. This is amazing. This is literally the best time I've ever seen to sell a business. It's what we are calling the season of the seller. For the first time, it is truly a seller's market, and you can take advantage of that if you play your cards right. So that is the breakdown of the State of the Industry report for this pricing tier of 7-figure and 8-figure Amazon FBA businesses. We have sold a lot more 7-figure and 8-figure businesses just this quarter alone in Q1 and now in Q2. It's been a crazy time. Q1 in 2021, it was the best quarter we've ever had. And 2020 was the best year we've ever had. And things are continuously heating up. So if it makes sense for you to sell, whether it's a personal or business reason, now is never been a better time. I would highly recommend you checking us out. Get a free exit planning call. I'll leave a link down below in the description. You can set up an exit planning call with us, or just check out our marketplace and our free valuation tool. And of course, if you like this video and you especially like the new angle where I'm sitting, then make sure you hit the like button, crush it, and leave me a comment about how you subscribe to the channel. That would be extra cool if you did that. I would always try to grow my video subscribers on here, and because I do not post very often, that has been difficult. So please make the journey easier for me as I teach you how to make $1 million from selling your FBA business. And if you do want to get deeper into this data that I just went over here, we did just release our State of the Industry report for 2021. I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can download that report. It's over 80 pages of analysis covering every single business model we sell on Empire Flippers, literally tens of millions of dollars in transactions with 3-year trends that go into both the opportunities and the warning signals for you to watch out when it comes to buying and selling online businesses. And by the way, if you are a business buyer and you're thinking, oh my God, the valuations are too high, how am I going to make money on this? I get it. But the nice thing about what is happening is there has never been more inventory on the market either. So if you are buying in this 7-figure range, congratulations. There's more inventory, more opportunity now than ever. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And remember, if you haven't yet already, go ahead and subscribe. Talk to you soon. Bye.